because I'm in selfie mode. 6, 7, 8, I get to know when it's 3:30. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this Chicago native, Janet Kuypers, is an Austin transplant, but figured that since the Poetry Bomb started at 3:30 and it's a Chicago-based thing, I figured I'd wear my 312 hat for you guys. And I thought that I would read poetry from brand new collection books from Scars Publications that were just released this past week. I think the 19th or something. They're issue collection books, and this first one I really love because I think it was a film shot from a television news broadcasting thing in Chicago, and when I saw it I fell in love with seeing the Sears, not Willis, the Sears Tower peeking out from above clouds. For the book title, which is always based on a piece of accepted writing within the book, called Aiming at Immortality. I apologize to live Facebook feeds streams because my 312 is backwards and book titles are backwards when you see them. Forgive me for this, but I thought this was such a cool cover, and I had to get multiple shots of it even for the back cover, just to be able to share issues. And when I saw a title like Aiming at Immortality, I'm like, that seems like a really appropriate thing to have the Sears Tower peeking out from a bed of clouds from it. So I was going to do a number of readings for you in assorted, break them up live feeds of different video readings of a bunch of poems from different sections within this book. And this first section of poems is from the Mask section. I hope you like them. The first poem is actually called Queasy Feeling, and it was written for, John gave me his reading glasses. I will do this in homage to Tom, the Between Worlds poet, who is an Austin transplant from Australia, and he would always bring glasses. Whenever I go to readings, I'd take his glasses and put on tons of them, but I can't look at people through them because it just makes everything blurry. But I thought in homage for him I'd borrow a pair of John's reading glasses. But I wanted to share this first poem. It was an events poem, as I said, called Queasy Feeling, and it was written on World Sword Swallowing Day, which was February 24th. And if I've got a short poem and if I can pull it off, I will come up with Instagram images and post them online as well, since we're all in our viral reels right now. So I'm going to try to show this. I know it's backwards for you, and I do it up close, and I do it up close for different cameras, where I have a picture of me actually swallowing a sword, which is just crazy. But it seemed appropriate for Sword Swallowing Day. This poem is called Queasy Feeling. I wanted to swallow swords today. I wanted to feel that long blade sliding down my esophagus, wiggling past my diaphragm and touching that sharpened blade tip to the opening of my stomach, almost as if the sword was knocking, asking if it can come in, please. I wanted to swallow those swords to mask that queasy feeling I have, like my insides have been shredded since you left. My stomach's been doing somersaults, turning without you, so maybe that sword would shock me into being calm again, would force me to control my breathing and be at peace. Be at peace. Is that a joke? Oh, isn't that a lark? To think that I would slide swords down my throat to get my mind off of anything other than you, gone. But you see, it's meditation, choosing to swallow sword after sword, to force myself to focus on nothing more than controlling everything about me, right down to my breath. I'll focus on this one thing, the only thing I can control, until my mind can be free to clear the way of getting you back to me. It seems ludicrous, this sword swallowing, but it is nothing compared to the pain that has been deep within me since you have been gone. I'll dissect me until I can see us as a forever we. First poem from this section for you, as I said, was called Queasy Feeling. And, I think these are going to be all like cool different events poems because I was doing that a lot. This one I enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy it too. It was written on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it is called Our Color, Our Gender, Our Creed. There is a house inside of me, It's a house with a rich heritage, brimming with the knowledge of how our souls have flourished and how it can be all so quickly taken away. There is a house inside of me that has had to shut down to hide everything away because those who didn't look like me decided that I was nothing and treated me accordingly. There is a house inside of me. Its pulse has an infectious rhythm that we've had to stifle to hide from your generic white bread world. But we only let it out when we're alone to save us from your madness. There is a house inside of me. I've hidden it away. I've sealed it up and placed it deep within, brimming with my history and my future. And I don't let it out when people can't think of me as human. There is a house inside of me. I've put boards over the windows to save myself from your storm. With your wrath, I've learned to not fight back, only because my captor won't listen. There is a house inside of me, and this house will stand strong, even after you have raped me, beaten me, tortured me, tried to kill me, treated me as nothing. But you were so wrong. There's a house inside of me, and what you don't realize is this. This house will outlast yours. Trust me. If your house was built on distrust and such blatant disrespect, then your house is bound to collapse. Because after all this time, and after my wanting to fight, I've learned that passive resistance is only a part of my story. Because in these struggles, I have gained a wisdom and a connection that is beyond this house inside of me, beyond this sharing, this inquisitive mentality. And I want you to remember, this house is a symbol for all like me, and for those not like me too. Because I have a dream that everyone who has suffered like this, and even those who have not, should share their stories with all of the world, no matter our color, our gender, our creed. This is my dream, because this is how we truly grow. Yay. Now, I've got a lot of February themed ones. That was a January one. This is, of course, it was written on Valentine's Day. And I want to tell John that I love you. Just want to get it out. This is called Valentine's Day, every day. You once traded my snow-soaked socks through sandals for your dry pairs. We climbed one of the Alps. I know we were in snow, but I wanted to do this for you. After we approached a 30-foot wide water pit, I said I had to stop. I couldn't do it. But during a return, construction crews came out and tore up our path. That is when you picked me up and started carrying me over what my sandals couldn't navigate. Because, yes, I want to do things for you, but I think it's abundantly clear that you want to do things for me, too. And I may be the first to say that selfishness is a virtue, but I want you to understand. I want to do things for you precisely because seeing you happy makes me happy. How selfish of me, wanting to see my love happy. So, what do I need a Hallmark holiday for in the first place? Why do I need conversation hearts, flowers, or chocolates? In fact, after knowing you for less than 3 weeks one Valentine's Day, you bought me a map because you knew that I had traveled. And your coworkers laughed at you, thought that you were a fool. But you even remembered that when you gave me that map, I asked if it was okay if I kept it wrapped up in the tube until we could frame it in our office. You remembered that I said this to you after knowing you for less than 3 weeks. So as I said, what do I need an economic gift-giving holiday for anyway? You show me that you love me every day. And since the beginning, I have loved you every day. Not just Valentine's Day. Every day. I see people are watching me and I have to give a lip kiss because I see John's one of them. So, John, I love you. And he might be in the office looking at that map right now. I have no idea. But it is framed in our office, which is the funniest thing. Oh, all right. Now I'm going to go on to other topics. Let's see. And hi, by the way, to everybody listening. I'm seeing people from Austin. Louise, you rock. I'm seeing people from Chicago. Oh, rich experience. So you guys are extra cool. So I'm going to share a short one with you that was for Opposite Day, which was January 25th. And it's called Opposite, simply put. If you put a book in front of a mirror, you only see the words in reverse. If you look into the mirror, you only get the opposite of who you really are. I think that was something I complained about with using a Facebook live feed. You have to put it in selfie mode so you get to see my area code backwards or book titles, everything backwards. So I apologize for that whole opposite thing since you're seeing the opposite in a live Facebook stream. Let me see, what do I have? Aha, well here's a fun one. This was written for the anniversary of the Reichstag fire, which was February 27th, 1933. Uh-oh. This one's called We Didn't Start the Fire. Precisely 4 weeks after Adolf Hitler was sworn in as Chancellor of Germany, Germany's parliamentary building, the Reichstag, was set on fire. And to Adolf Hitler, what a fortunate happenstance this was, where they could pass the Reichstag fire decree to be able to state that all communists, since one stated they actually started the fire. That meant that you could just say this could be a decree against Germany, which cemented Nazi Germany and him becoming the Führer. Fortunate happenstance for Adolf Hitler indeed. Or was it a well-orchestrated plot by the German government, making the Reichstag fire synonymous with a red flag, a ruse to fool a country to condemn a false enemy, so they end up supporting the true enemy instead? Is this how the master of deceit Hitler actually orchestrated his way to power? Documents uncovered after the end of World War II, plus information revealed during the Nuremberg trials, shows that Hermann Goering may have started the Reichstag fire. Needing a patsy was easy when they found the unstable Dutch communist Marinus van der Lubbe, and oh man, did Hitler hate those communists. The story is just writing itself. You're probably now going to expect a tirade on the concentration camps or the twisted experiments of Dr. Mengele or the twisted sadistic acts of the chicken farmer who was too weak to even be admitted into an army. But sorry, reader, Himmler, who said Hitler and the SS weren't even around in '33 after the Reichstag burned to the ground. This was when just the seeds were planted in the German government, of the seeds of the one that no one wanted to believe in after a defeat in World War I. However, they were the seeds planted and growing from deep within the mind of Adolf Hitler, seeds no one fully even understood, even when he wrote his rambling diatribes in Mein Kampf. When he was doing that while he was serving prison time for ducking and covering, instead of actually heroically fighting after the Berhau Putsch. But don't think they didn't aggrandize these failed battles to appease the megalomaniacal quote-unquote savior for that the women that actually flocked to and adore, which is why the leader could never marry a woman. He was only married to the fatherland, which may explain his quote-unquote love affair with his niece. But after she killed herself 2 years before the Reichstag fire, Hitler only settled for a weak woman, well hidden. On the surface, the rise of Nazi Germany only existed because of a series of curious and fortunate happenstances. But look into each of these inexplicable events, and a different story unfolds altogether, of careful planning and careful propaganda. Because even Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister, said that his best propaganda was Adolf Hitler himself and creating his short-term myth. You didn't know that you were going to get a history lesson, did you? I've got one more, no, maybe two more for you. This was written for Ayn Rand's birthday, which is February 2nd. So it could be Groundhog Day or Ayn Rand's birthday. So this is from Less Than 2 Minutes with Ayn Rand. I don't believe in things that aren't proven, that we have no evidence of. But sometimes I have to thank you and tell you that I thank you for showing me that there are logical people in the world. That man can live by reason, that reason is a virtue, that selfishness is a virtue, that I have a right to what I earn, to what I create, to what I know to be true. It's nice to know that even when I'm surrounded by those unthinking masses, that there are people who hold their mind as their highest virtue, their highest value out there somewhere in the world. And the fact that they exist helps me through my days. Yes, thank you for giving me the answers I've been looking for, but maybe you can explain to me how to get through the days when no one understands you, and how to accept less than perfection when you've seen the purity and the clarity of the thinking mind. All right, I've got one. This is a funny story, and it relates to Valentine's Day, though I don't know when it was written. This is a short prose-ish piece called Valentine's Day, over 25 days away. And this is the one I'll close on before I go into another live stream. Thank you, guys. I dated a guy once for a few months, and after the first week of January, I noticed that when we went out, we would always do things that I suggested. I remembered inviting him out to do things with my friends, but I don't ever remember him bringing me to hang out with his friends. One thing I do remember is that on one cold day in January evening, we were walking down the street and I found a coin in the ground. This may be a sign, I thought. I leaned over, and when I saw the coin's glimmer, it was not copper tone like a penny, but silver like a nickel or a dime. I stared at it and I started to get closer and to pick up that coin, and I was so excited. "Hey, there's a quarter on the ground," I said. And then I told my date that if you find a penny, pick it up all the day, you have good luck. Well, that means if I picked up a quarter, maybe I'd have 25 days good luck. We laughed at this little comment, and I put the quarter in the pocket, and we walked along. And I knew we were dating, but we weren't that close, and it was approaching Valentine's Day. And as it was approaching, he broke up with me. Now, as I said, we weren't close, and I imagine he was thinking, "Oh, wait, Valentine's Day is approaching, and I don't want her to expect something from me, blah, blah, blah." And let me repeat myself, we weren't that close. It wasn't a big deal. But the strange thing was that he broke up with me 26 days after I found that quarter. 25 days of proverbial good luck, and then he broke up with me. It was the strangest thing. Okay, you guys, thank you. I'm going to do multiple live feeds. I'm going to pause this for you guys, and I'm going to start with another reading in just a few minutes, and thank you.